Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in today's around the farm video, I think we'll be working over here with our little friends, the goats. Nice fall day out here, perfect weather, and I got some more projects to do here on the goat house, so I think I'm going to be working on a few of those today. You saw me working on the concrete there. Another project that I haven't finished up is trimming all the tops of the posts, so I have that to do today. I have these friends here to follow me around. Say hi, Oliver. That's Oliver. Great goats. So I have posts to cut off today. I also have the tin up on the roof. I'm borrowing a tool to seam it. It's a mechanical seam, standing seam, so I need to get that tool back, so that is top priority on the list. It shouldn't take very long. I'll show you that process. I have one more panel on the end to do. It's a cut panel. It's about 4 or 5 inches wide, so I can show you the process of cutting a panel and bending an edge and then installing that. So we got that to do. We also have some of the forms still on here. Haven't done anything since our other video. We've been busy, so I got these 2 form boards here that I want to pull, and then I have that back one over there that I don't plan on pulling until I finish this section here. So here's my panel that I need to cut and install, and then up here this needs to be mechanically seamed, where you bend this top piece under here with this tool and it locks it together. So it's all up there and it's kind of doing its job, but obviously it's not fully installed yet. So cut that, do those, and maybe I'll do this concrete in here. Now I don't have the jackery here like you saw in the first video, so I may actually mix all this by hand and see how long it takes me to mix, I don't know, 5-6 bags of concrete to do this part compared to the mud mixer that took 1 minute per bag to do. So it should be a good challenge. Stay tuned on the channel here. Make sure you like and subscribe for more updates, and let's get some tools and let's get after it. All right, got some tools, and I think we're ready. So I got me a ladder. I think what I'm going to do is work on the metal roof first, and this is the important tool that I'm borrowing. So it's a crimper for standing seam. So I need to crimp that mechanical seam. Also got my Malco adjustable roller bender, so to custom cut that last panel and then bend an edge on it so that water stays up on the roof, and screws. So let's get after that part of the project. All right, we're up here on the roof, and I got my mechanical seamer for the standing seam. It's a super easy process, just takes a little bit of time. So this thing sits right over the ridge. Never tried to do this one-handed here, so let's see how we do. And then use your knee, I guess, and up and over. What that does is it squeezes the bottom down here. This I'll squeeze by hand, this last little bit, or you can take, we got this up at the moment, I'll bend this one down so I can show it to you. That's what we're looking for, is that right there. So you go from this where it's like straight to bending this one up and over to make a complete seal. So now I just have to do all this. Won't take that long. So let's get after it. So I got all the seams closed up and hemmed. This mechanical seamed. I don't typically use this style of roofing, but that's the style I had laying around. So next, what we got left is to do this little rip right here. So underneath all of this metal is high temp ice and water shield, which is what I'd recommend for any kind of metal roof. If you use the wrong type of ice and water shield, what will happen is it will melt from the heat of the steel from the sun, and then it will like drip off into your gutters on the ground, make an absolute mess. So high temp ice and water shield is ideal underneath your standing seam. It's really just a giant sticker that can stay out in the elements. It's like sticky stuck down, like it is not coming up. So I really haven't been in a hurry to close this up, because I know I have this down and it's going to do the job. But let's get this piece of metal measured out here, and then I'll show you how to cut it. It looks like we got 5.5, and I'm measuring from this lip, which is how we're going to cut the metal, to this outside edge here. 5.5. I don't necessarily have to go out there. Plus we got this bend coming up. I can't remember the bend on this one, 1.5 inches on this model. So between that, we need to measure 5.5 plus 1.5 inches means we're going to be at 7 inches on our metal for cutting purposes. Let's make sure that we're kind of square down here. Looks like we're pretty darn close. Maybe a hair bit more here, but there'll be a piece of edge metal that goes over all that. So let's shoot for around 5.5 plus 1.5 inches up. Get us a 7-inch piece of metal from that piece right there. I'll probably cut 7 1/8 with all the bending. We'll need a little bit extra material. So 7 1/8 is what we're going to cut. Let's head down to the metal and I'll show you how to cut it and bend it. All right, so we got those measurements up there on the roof, and I didn't bring a straight edge over here, so I just found the straightest 2x4. We'll make it work. We're gonna mark it out with my Pika. And we had a 5.5 on the deck, counting this lip, and then we had an 1.5 inch rise, which is the new bend that we're gonna do up. So I need to have around 7. We're gonna do a little bit extra so we have some meat in case we need it. So 7 1/8. All right, so we got this marked. Now we got to get to cutting. And since this is a straight cut, DeWalt makes some metal shears. You can cut this by hand. It's going to have a lot harder edge. Your hand's going to hurt. This panel's already cut the length. It matches the rest of them. So with these DeWalt shears, which are DCS 49.6, you want to make sure that the piece that you're keeping is on the side of the non-moving, and then the piece that scissors is the side that you really don't want. It makes a little wave in the cut, and I'll show you when we're done with it. But because of that, you got to cut from a certain direction. I mean, I need to start over here. I need to end over there. So I'm going to twist this around. And the reason why is because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to be going this way, and that's going to allow my left hand to hold on to this piece of metal at the same time that I need it. Make sure you have your safety shears. Obviously this edge is going to be sharp, but if you look at that cut, it's pretty level. It doesn't have a lot of like sharp edges. It's just nice, straight, almost like a factory cut. Now the other side is the dangerous side, because if you look at it, it's got waves in it. You see all those waves? And that's from that shear going as it cuts. Okay, so definitely got to make sure you use the correct side when you're using those DeWalt 10 snips electric 20 volt. Okay, so now we got that, we need to set up a Melco bender, and it's got all these adjustable things. I can change the depth or the throat of how deep we want to be able to go in there and bend this. And so for bending purposes, I'm going to bend this flat temporarily so that we can run our bender back and forth. And I want about 1.5 inches, so let's see what we're set up at. We're set up at 1.25 inches. And it says roughly 1 inch here on the middle. Double check with the tape. 1.5 inches, perfect. So this Melco ER3 bender, super handy. Has 2 different sizes of bearings or rollers. The taller one goes to the back side, and then this is going to be the front side. So the plate is measured off of this direction here. So I'm going to roll it and bend it at the same time. And my throw right here is 1.5 inches, which is what the factory markings are set up for. Now this could be a little difficult over here on the farm because I don't really have anything to anyone or anything. So let's see if I can get creative here. All I got is my GoPro grip, so I'm going to see if I could utilize that. I'll hold this as an extra set of hands. So I don't have to go all the way back to the other side of the property to get me something. Alright. Not sure if it's going to work or not, so let's give it a try. I typically start very easy just to try to get a small little score line get an establishment, and then I slowly bend up and roll at the same time. If you roll too fast in one area, you'll kink the metal. Alright, definitely a lot harder than it should be, but the shop's way over there and I was being lazy. So that is kind of what we're looking for. Nice little bend. This height and this height is roughly the same. Now what we're going to do is we need to make a little slit right here, bend this up on the end and get it all ready, and then it's ready to go back on the roof. So just that quick and easy. All right, now that we got the last piece cut, bent, I used grommet headed screws just along the edge here to hold this last flap down. We still have edge metal that I got to order that will encapsulate and trim off the end here, so it'll allow no moisture to get between these two layers. But in the short period of time, we are kind of done with the metal roof at the moment until I finish building the front and everything else. And this is dried in for a while. All right, let's get on to the next task. Next, I want to cut off the top of these posts. There's a couple of them down here that I haven't cut off. You can see here, they're just so much taller than those ones. I've already cut these off and I go up and around, but I still have that whole side and a few over here. We're gonna leave these tall for now until we get some lights or some power over here or something like that. Those are solar string lights that are on there, so we're gonna utilize those temporarily as light holders so we can walk underneath them. What I'll be using is a DeWalt Flex 60. It's a DCC S677 chainsaw. I really like this chainsaw. I know it's not gas powered. I do have gas powered. You still need bar oil with it, but you pull the trigger, it cuts. You let go of the trigger, it shuts off. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear one of my neighbors processing firewood, and they are a solid, I don't know, 8-10 acres away, but I can still hear that chainsaw. Nobody will even hear me cutting with this chainsaw. It's just so much quieter. But I do have the gas if I need gas, if I'm processing a lot of logs or something like that and I want to do that. Yes, I can be a little more remote with the gas, but this electric around the farm, it's got a 20-inch bar on it. I can process a lot of stuff with it. And when it comes to processing wood for the fire season, sure, we'll fire up the gas one and be doing that. But if I just got one tree, I'm going to use that guy. So let's head over that way and get to cutting some posts. As you see, I got these ones cut across the top here. This side's got a nice slope to it. So I think I'm going to tie a string to here and go down there to the bottom, kind of look at the string and see what kind of looks best and just kind of run that. But it looks like it's pretty much decently graded that way. So I did 12 inches up from the wire, so we're going to do that down to there, and then we'll kind of see what the string line looks like and go from there. So Alright, so I got this guitar string tight. Got it nice and tight. I got a little bit, it's 120 feet long. So I got a little bit of a dip down there. I don't really have a lot of stuff out here. I do have some drills or whatnot. So I'm going to take a utility blade. I'm going to lift that line up, put this into the wood, and this is going to be my finger since I'm riding solo out here. It's going to be my finger to help hold that string up. Just a little bit of a sag in the middle there. Then I'm going to mark off these posts and we're going to get to cutting. Now that I got the post cut off, I'm leaving 3 long down there and a couple long on the other side for the string lights. But other than that, I got all the posts cut down, and they didn't turn out half bad either. Doing a string line across the top kind of gives you a nice straight edge, so that it's, the ground's going to do this, but at least I got a straight, semi-straight edge on the top. All right, just got to clean up that mess, and then I'll look at doing some concrete, see how long it takes me to mix some bags by hand. All right, so we're on to the last thing that I wanted to do for this video, is finish this concrete that I started the other day. I did the patio, and that was 29 or 30 bags or something like that when we used the mud mixer and the jackery, if you saw that episode a couple weeks back. I have this little spot here that I want to do. This spot here. I'm gonna mix it by hand and see how long it takes me, old school style, with a tray and a concrete type trowel or hoe. So we'll see how long it takes me. I think it's gonna be about 6 bags. I'm gonna mix it pretty dry because the form board doesn't go all the way to the ground, blah blah blah. It's not ideal, but I don't even need concrete here. I'm just trying to prevent a spot for a rodent to live. So we'll see how I do. Let's get after it. All right, we're at 5 minutes on the camera, so probably like 4.5 minutes to mix the 2 bags. Had to use some muscle. A lot harder than the mud mixer, I'll tell you that. I think I only got 5 or 6 bags. That'd take the mud mixer 5 or 6 minutes to mix. I'll be in this, I don't know, 20-25 minutes. So small jobs, it's not horrible, but you do have to work harder while you're at it. So All right, everybody, that is a wrap here. I got the concrete just how I wanted. It's 6 bags of 60-pound crete. It took me way too long to mix it by hand, but this much doesn't mean that you should get out the mud mixer or the cement mixer or whatever. 6 bags, you can mix it by hand. The gnats are out right now. All right, so if you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe for more. We love your comments below. It really like the feedback that you guys are giving us. So stay tuned for that. And I try to do this weekly. I don't know what's next week. We'll see what the weather holds. But for now, let's end it with some goats. Have a good day, and thanks for watching. Here.